Today I'm bringing you a weapons focused Titan Prismatic build that is S tier for endgame content. Yes, you finally don't need to keep spamming consecration to make Titan viable. We managed to stack so many damage buffs to make the best weapon in the game right now even stronger, allowing you to melt any enemy type including champions with absolute ease. Not only that, but we can get our super back with this build in seconds, allowing you to chain supers and transcendence very easily. With constant radiant, amplified weapon damage stacking, we can more than double the damage output of our weapons, and at the same time maintain survivability by stacking huge amounts of damage reduction and have healing within the build. The best thing about this build is that it does not require an exotic class item, so there's no RNG component to the build. Build link will be in the comments or description below. So at the heart of this build are two exotics that are truly a match made in heaven. We have the Titan exotic gloves, the Fang Pauldrons. With void weapon kills, we can stack an escalating void weapon surge damage bonus up to 4 times. With a 4x surge, that's a 25% damage bonus, and the only thing you need to do is shoot your gun to achieve this. So your guns really do shine within this build. Now this works with any void weapon, and there are plenty of really good void weapons out there, but the best gun to pair this with right now is the new exotic auto rifle, the Choir of One. What makes the Choir of One so special is that it is a beast at taking out both weaker enemies and stronger enemies thanks to its 2 weapon firing functions. In its ADS fire mode, it functions almost like a high RPM scout rifle, making it perfect to gun down enemies both from up close and afar when you need a more safer playstyle in things like GMs. But when you fire it from the hip, it functions almost like the 4th horseman, allowing you to burn your ammo and annihilate stronger enemies within seconds. Both these fire modes will benefit from that 4 times weapon surge, making it even stronger. Another reason why Choir of One is especially good right now is because it synergizes with our new artifact perks in Act 3, which all make auto rifles even deadlier. With targeting autoloader, we automatically reload our auto rifle on every kill, meaning you can continuously gun down enemies with Choir of One without reloading, and not only that, but it also gives you a stacking damage bonus up to 20%. We also have the artifact perk Sustained Fire, which after hitting 10 auto rifle shots in quick succession gives us a whopping 40% damage reduction for 6 seconds, meaning you take less damage when using an auto rifle. And then we also have Overload Auto Rifle, meaning our Choir of One can deal with champions as well. Fang not only makes our weapons juice, but it also synergizes with our Void Melee Sentinel Shield Throw. Our Shield Throw ability grants us a Void Overshield for each enemy it hits, and it can ricochet up to 4 times. Void Overshields are great because not only do they provide us with more HP in the form of an overshield, but they also give us a whopping 50% damage reduction whilst we have the overshield active. With Fang, when we kill an enemy with our Sentinel Shield Throw, it instantly gives us 20% of our super. If we combine this with armor mods to generate orbs of light, we can take this super generation even further. Also, when we kill an enemy with our void melee, it will instantly give us the 4 times surge bonus, meaning we don't need to waste time building up to the maximum stacks of damage bonus. So now we can literally use our Sentinel Shield Throw up front, gain the 25% damage bonus as well as an overshield before using Choir of One. This ability also is amazing in getting our super back quickly. Here you can see I can throw a few Sentinel shields with Transcendence up and we can get our super back in literal seconds. Our super is Twilight Arsenal, which is an amazing burst DPS super which deals a lot of damage by itself, but it also applies Weaken so that we can follow up our damage with Choir of One, making it a potent DPS option against bosses as well. Our melee can trigger a variety of aspects and fragments on top. It triggers knockout, which can also be triggered from just damaging enemies with our weapons, which means our melee attacks including shield throw heal us now, as well as giving us an overshield. Not only that, but we can also gain the amplified buff when knockout is procced, which this season gives us a further 30% damage reduction thanks to the artifact perk Galvanic Armor. Our melee also triggers Facet of Dawn, which gives us Radiant, another 20% damage buff when we use our shield throw. And then with the artifact perk Radiant Orbs, we can have a really high radiant uptime because we generate so many orbs of power both from our weapons and our melee abilities. Our other aspect is Drenga's Lash, which when we use our barricade allows us to suspend enemies, which is really useful against stronger enemies and champions before we nuke them down with Choir of One. Our grenade is the Suppressor Grenade, which thanks to Facet of Dominance allows us to weaken targets. Weaken is a further 15% debuff, which with the artifact perk, Expanding Abyss actually boosts the damage bonus to 25% from 15%, which means our grenade is super useful in priming those stronger enemies so we can kill them in one burst of Choir of One. Our grenade kills can also trigger Facet of Bravery, which means we gain volatile rounds, meaning our Choir of One can cause even more explosions. Our other fragments include Facet of Protection to stack even more damage reduction, and Facet of Purpose so that whenever we pick up an Orb of Power, we gain even more Void Overshield. Our armor mods focus on generating orbs of power which give us super energy, ability energy, radiant and overshields through the rest of the build. On our helmet we have a harmonic siphon mod, which means void weapons including Choir of One can generate orbs of power. We also have 2 hands-on mods, so we can generate even more super energy on our sentinel shield throw kills. Our gloves have 2 copies of heavy handed, so we can generate orbs of power from our sentinel shield throw and 1 fastball mod as well. On your chest piece, run the relevant resistance mods based on your activity you're running. Then on your boots, you want to run 1 absolution mod and 1 invigoration mod so that each orb of power gives us back roughly 15% of our melee energy. It's also really important to run 1 copy of recuperation here so we can gain back a chunk of health each time we pick up an orb of power. Our cloak has Reaper, so after we use our barricade, the next weapon kill generates an orb of power on top, 1 copy of outreach for more melee energy generation, and then 1 copy of special ammo finisher to fuel our Choir of One ammo usage. In terms of stat distribution, the number 1 priority for the build is 100 resilience for that 30% damage reduction that it provides. Then you want a high strength stat so we can get our sentinel shield throw back quicker. Finally, go for a high discipline stat so you can get your grenade back relatively quickly for more weaken uptime and more volatile rounds uptime. For weapons to use with your Choir of One, in your kinetic slot, I ran either the Call, which is extremely powerful in its own right, and can also benefit from unraveling rounds from our fragments and deal with unstoppable champions with unstoppable sidearm. Or I ran a pulse rifle like the Blast Furnace to deal with anti-barrier champions. Either one is good depending on the activity you run. For your heavy, you can run whatever you want, but make sure it's void. This is because you want your heavy weapon to also benefit from that void weapon surge bonus that Fang Pauldron provides. Something like the Edge Transit is a great option here for more longer range DPS. There you have it, my new Choir of One Titan Prismatic build. It's not only refreshing to use my guns on my Titan again, but it's also extremely powerful as it makes one of the best, most versatile guns in the game even stronger. If you enjoyed what I talked about today, remember to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Destiny builds, both PvE and PvP, as we get closer to episode 2. I'm Mr. Ronnet, and that's it for today. Peace out, guys.